I was here once again. I was here not that long ago. Well, I fixed the basement zone. Two thermostats on this one basement zone. This one thermostat here wasn't working. It wasn't the thermostat. It was the zone valve power head. Was no good. So I replaced the zone valve power head. And then 3 weeks later, they're saying that the entire basement's not working now. The other side was working fine. Something I find odd is that that's flashing. That was not flashing before like that. So temperature definitely is calling for heat. Set to 70, 60 in here. Boiler circulator is on and cranking. The boiler though is just running and running, shutting off and running, constantly calling. So what I usually check with these is, once again, come back to the power head. See, that's cool. That's the zone 3 is the first floor, and then zone 2 is that basement side that I just showed you, and then this is the other side of the basement. So none of these are hot, and our thermostats are calling. That is not open. I can tell with zone valves. If you're a technician, you know this. If you're a homeowner, when you push that lever down, if there's resistance right there, it's not open. Now I just pushed through the resistance, opened it up. Now if there's no resistance and it's easy to push down, that means it's already powered up and it's usually hot. The pipes are usually hot. That's usually the sign with that. Yeah, now I got heat coming through. So what's happening is that I'm seeing now is the thermostats are calling for heat. The thermostats come back to the zone control panel, which also operates the circulator, which maybe the boiler operates the circulator. Depends on how they wired that. But regardless, zone valves, thermostats are tapped in here, and then zone valves get their power from here because this is a zone valve controller. So there's something definitely going on, especially with the fact that this is flashing. It's funny why I couldn't have done this when I was already here. Made me look bad. Seriously, the customer's like, you were just here 3 weeks ago, and I paid you to fix this. Yeah, it's heat now, so the circ's doing its thing. The boiler's trying to do its thing. I'm surprised they even have heat on the first floor. That's actually devastating. That's actually interesting because that's not even hot. It's a very disgusting piping system here. It's just, you scratch your head on this one. I just try not to even, whatever. But anyway, it's the fact that they paid for me to be here to fix it. I fixed that. Everything worked fine after. Everything was restored. I also did the maintenance. I had no problems with that zone control board. But then 3 weeks later, and I said, ma'am, this is a separate service issue. This is a separate problem. Yeah, it's the basement, but this is something that is not part of the original service call. I fixed the issue. It was a dead power head at the time. I replaced it, restored operations, basement was heating fine, did the maintenance, everything was fine. I said this is a separate service charge, but we will determine when I come if this is something that I missed. And I don't see that there's something that I missed. I do see something new because that issue is still fixed. That problem's resolved. And now they'll start heating. Always make sure you shut these back off after. But yeah, that's cranking when I do that. All right. So the circ can't, the boiler, it seems like it's not able to give up its heat. The boiler is just hitting high limit, bouncing off high limit, running, shutting down because it can't move any water. So I'm surprised they even have heat on the first floor thermostats up there, right where it's set at. So that's not dropping behind. It's pretty cold out today. And then we'll find some baseboard heating, see what that looks like. It feels like nothing. I don't feel anything coming out of that. Nope. No. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit warm. That's putting out a tiny bit of heat. But that zone valve's not truly open. I don't know if it's just partially opened or something. But that zone control board is definitely not opening up zone valves. Definitely firing a boiler. We're definitely getting a response from thermostats and turning on circulator. But it is not operating zone valves. All right, so to find out what is going on here, is it just a loose wire? But I don't appreciate the fact that's flashing because that's obviously a sign that there's a problem if that's flashing like that. I think it's tight there. All right, let's see what we got for voltage coming out of the transformer. I got voltage. I think we just got a defective board, to be honest with you. We have 25 volts coming out of there on R to common. So basically those lights flashing, seems like just those two. The T1 and T2 is the thermostat. The T1 and T2 is the thermostat. Thermostat's calling for heat. I do have voltage coming back for that. I have voltage going out, I mean. And that's just a switch. That's just a closed switch. I mean, I'll try bypassing the thermostat, just jumping it out and seeing if that changes anything. But the fact that it's blinking on the thermostat establishment, it just tells me that the board's defective. Because how could you have two bad thermostats at once? It wouldn't have anything to do with the zone valves because it hasn't even reached that point yet. So this is definitely an isolated issue because jumping it out, it's still flashing just like it was. It's an internal board problem. Let's see zone 3. Let's disconnect the thermostat and see if the other zone ends up working. Yeah, I have zone 1 jumped right now. Priority's off. Nothing's happening. Well, okay. I'm gonna write up a new board. It's rare that I see this occurrence here, so kind of rare. And it's kind of odd that it happened after that zone valve power head failed. I'm wondering if that had anything to contribute to wiping out this board. But why weeks later? So, I don't know. This is the coincidence. This is the thing with the HVAC trade or any kind of trade. When you're troubleshooting systems, things, especially HVAC, things are hard to explain to a customer sometimes. And things are hard to get your own brain around. But, I mean, we understand it as techs because we know that it's just the way things operate. You can't predict when the light bulb's going to go out. Customer approved the repair. Went and got the new Takeo 503. So this is now open, and that's heating, very hot. So these are all on, and nothing's flashing abnormally. It's all wired up. Notice that this is really a expansion board for all the way up to 6 zones. They just didn't put in the tabs, the terminal blocks. And it does have those dip switches, which are handy. And it does have a whole bunch of pump auxiliary relays, terminals. That's nice. I like it. So that's on. Boiler's not short cycling, just running steady. Bouncing off high limit before. That's open. Cool. It's powered up. It's hot. That's open. That's powered up. Cool. That's it. She loves me when I look my best, but girl, you need to let me rest. I'm sorry.